Hello scholars, welcome back. It's Thursday, April 30th, and we're going to hop into another problem. Today is actually about Miss Severino's cat. So this is Daisy and this is Diesel. And I know we've talked about them before, but now they're making a comeback. So let's go look at our problem. Today's problem is Miss Severino has two cats. Daisy had 65 treats this week, and her brother Diesel had 37. How many more treats did Daisy get than Diesel this week? So our retelling, again, you just need to retell the problem. It doesn't need to be word for word. I think this one is simple enough. You just need to make sure that Daisy is the one that goes first, Diesel is next, and you get the number of treats correct. So right now, this needs to be covered and you need to do your retelling. If you're ready, here we go. All right, once you're done retelling, we're going to head on up to the next part. Now let's make sure that we're on CGI page 23. So make sure you open up, you're on the correct problem and you're on the correct number, and we're going to get going. Problem, the first one is reading the problem. And it's Miss Severino has two cats. Daisy has 65 treats this week. Her brother Diesel had 37. How many more treats did Daisy have than Diesel this week? This is your turn to retell the problem. Pause it, read it, and then come back to me. All right. Now we're going to hop into the next part. We're doing the circling the key numbers, which is think of what you know and what information does the story give you. So there are obviously the first thing that you should look for is the numbers, which will make it a lot easier. So going through the first part, I see this one right here, 65 treats this week. Then the next part is her brother Diesel had 37. 37, what you need to think about? It's 37 treats. Our next one is what in the story asked you to what is the story asking you to find? So this is underlining the questions bit. And the question is right here. It is, how many more treats did Daisy get than Diesel this week? And what is it asking you to do? So this is the part that I find that is the most confusing, and it's absolutely fine because we're learning this process. I think that this how many more than question, we've gone through it. This is actually asking you to find the difference. So in this one, we don't have a more than or less than problem because you actually can't do one here. So I really need you to think about this before you go in. So how many more than is asking you for the difference? What is a difference and how are you going to find that? Another way to put this problem is it fair that Daisy got 65 and Diesel got 37? How many more do you need to give to Diesel so that they both have the same amount? So again, page 23. I want you to solve out the entire first page before you watch my videos so that you can see how I solved it. Because again, I need you to solve it because when we get back into the classroom, you're going to be solving at your desk by yourself. Then the teachers go around and pick 3 unique and different ways to showcase it up on the board. What we do is you come up, you need to explain what you did first, and then what you did after that, and then what you did after that. If you're drawing, then you need to go first, I drew this. If you subtracted and you had a vertical way, you need to be able to explain how are you going to show me how to write that. Make sure you have a number sentence, a word sentence, and everything else is filled out. That also means your name and your date and your college. I'll see you after you've done your work to show you my 3 different ways.
So our first way is a how many more problem, and with a how many more than problem, this is always usually telling you that you have to subtract your 2, but you also need to figure out who has more. So Daisy had 65, and this is Daisy, and then Diesel had 37. And you're trying to find the difference, which the difference usually means it is the answer to a subtraction problem. So you need to subtract to find out the difference. Also trying to figure out, okay, so if Daisy got 65 and Diesel got 37, how many more do you need to give Diesel to have the same amount. How you're going to do that is with my first way, always a drawing method. You can do it in 2 ways. I think I'm going to do that for my second way as well. My first way is a regular way of subtracting. I don't actually have hundreds here, so I'm just going to leave that very blank. You're going to draw the top number and cross out the bottom number. So I only have 5 here. I need to cross out 7. I don't have enough. I'm going to go over here, bring that over, and draw a group of 10, because you take 1 10, you give 10 ones. Now I actually have enough to cross out 7, and you have 5, 6, 7, 8 left here. Here, you have to cross out 3 more. This doesn't count because this was for here. So that's 1, 2, 3. And now you have that left, which brings it down to 28. Our second way can be an adding up way. So technically what you're doing is you're finding the difference, which is also the same as you adding up to figure out how do you get from 37 to 65. So I'm going to start with 37. I'm going to add 3 more to get to 40. My goal is to get to 65 here. So I'm going to go from 40. I'm going to add 20 more to get to 60. Then I'm going to add 5 more to get to 65. Now all you have to do is add these middle numbers together. That's why it's important that when you go from 40, your 40 goes here. And whatever you're adding is your second add-in, so that you can add all these together to get your answer. And that gives you an 8 and a 2. So what you did was, to 37, you added 28 in order to get 65. Our third method is just going to be a simple vertical way, just making sure that you're splitting between to show that it's tens and ones I mean. You can't do this because you only have 5 and you need to actually cross off 7. So we're going to take that away. That becomes a 5. You give that 10 to here. So what you initially did is you're just taking a 10 away and then you're giving it to the ones place. So I added 10 more. Now you can cross out 7. And then you have 8 left. This is something that I show my scholars that have trouble with the 15 minus 7. So you can do that on the side. And 5 minus 3 is a 2.
Alright, great job again today. And your number sentence was 63 minus 37 equals blank. Difference means the answer to a subtraction problem. So I really want you to think about those how many more than questions. They usually tell you to subtract. My word sentence today was Daisy got 65 more treats than Diesel this week. And good job today, and I'll see you tomorrow.